I would love to see Gio Reyna healthy and back in action and see what he looks like in this new setup with Mauricio Pochettino. Of course, when he is healthy and playing, Pochettino will play him, give him the opportunity to come into camp.
Where do you put him?
Right now, it looks like it's between him and Yunus Musa in that position.
We want to talk about Gio Reyna.
Yes, please.
He came off the bench.
There's a comment that's already triggered.
Chuck's triggered. Go ahead.
Triggered.
Okay.
Wait.
Umar Mota.
Wait. Der Klassiker. He came off the bench. He played like 1 minute. Just want to give him a shout out for coming off the bench. Played for 1 minute.
Shout out to Gio. He's back. And
he's back.
He was back the weekend before. So the match before he was playing.
And he played midweek as well. He's got minutes in 3 straight games.
I gotta address this. Fumar Mota. You come in with comments all the time. So I appreciate you for piping in. But
here we go.
We lose. He
Give
goes
a little positivity first.
He goes, Gio barely played for Dortmund and was always the best player for the U.S. men's national team. That is false. The second one is we lose to Jamaica if not for out of club form, in quotes, Gio. Also false. Because do you remember who scored the 2 goals in the game to beat Jamaica? And that was the impact sub. Haji Wright. That was the player who changed the game, and we lose if it was not for Haji Wright playing in the championship. But he was playing and he was in form. Even though I think our players, if you've maxed out in the championship, it's time to play in a top division elsewhere in Europe where you're competing. Maybe in the Europa League, Champions League. But Gio Reyna, we know how special he is. The previous Nations League where we beat Mexico 3-0, that's where Gio showed, hey, number 10, this is for me. I can play at this level and excel. Let me be the one to facilitate in the attacking third. And he showcased his quality, but he hasn't been healthy since that moment. He has not been healthy. When he got injured in the final against Canada. So, yeah, I would love to see Gio Reyna healthy and back in action and see what he looks like in this new setup with Mauricio Pochettino. Of course, when he is healthy and playing, Pochettino will play him, give him the opportunity to come into camp.
Where do you put him?
Right now, it looks like it's between him and Yunus Musa in that position. Also, then you. In that wide right, that's where he was in the First Nations League when he'd come inside and he was pretty damn good at it.
I don't like that position for him. I like those two.
You like him more central?
Yeah, I like those two. With Christian coming, it's been like a forward and then Christian coming inside when it's been Brendan Aronson and a couple other players in there. I like that position, but that might be, Chuck, where he's going to have to compete in that right side. And at the moment, Pochettino, you were talking, Jimmy, earlier about the manager trusting players. At the moment, Pochettino clearly trusts Yunus Musa. I mean, he's almost made it his mission for 4 games to get Yunus Musa to a point where he trusts himself. Right. And we use that word comfortable. There's only one thing you need to be comfortable, and that's in your own game. Right. You need to be comfortable in what you do then go out on the field. But you're right, Chuck. That now that I think I'm trying to think of all the games. I don't have all the lineups in front of me, but that might be where he has to compete in that right side, Gio.
The reason why I said he can't be central is because when you play with the 3 right now, you're looking at Tessman and Tyler Adams, right? They're going to be that more defensive midfielder in that trio. Then you have Weston or Yunus Musa could be there, but it looks like Weston will be in that 8 role with Christian in that 10-8 role, winger role with Timothy Weah, and then that winger spot where Yunus Musa is. And we know ideally that's probably not the best spot for Yunus Musa, but Pochettino says, I love this player. I got to figure out a spot for him because I want him on the pitch. So if there's ever a position that I think he could compete for, it's with Yunus Musa and Gio Reyna, because Timothy Weah is essential in the way he plays. You can see he has something that everyone else in our player pool does not have. His player profile, the quickness, the speed, the testing, the confidence on the ball. I think that's where Gio Reyna really only has an opportunity to break into this team.
Hey,
all right,
hey Jimmy,
wait,
can I just add?
Go ahead,
I
Tom.
love that we can't figure out all the positions. Like we can't give them definitions, like true definitions, because it just goes to show a little bit of an evolution, right?
Yes.
But I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just love that we can't go, he's a 10. He's
Right.
this, like, but anyway, sorry,
No.
but I didn't mean to cut you off. But
No. That's a good add to it. I just wanted to, because the chat's going off right now. They're saying, Chuck. Haji Wright did score in the Nations League against Jamaica, but who gave him the assist?
2. He scored 2.
Yeah, but who gave him the assist?
Sure, but if you watch that game, was Gio already on the pitch?
I can't.
Yeah.
remember.
Gio was. How long was
Yeah.
Gio on the pitch? It was Haji Wright who came in. Fumar, I see you trying your hardest to get me going. It's not happening. I'm telling you right now. And then watch the final.
Fumar apparently is doing a good job right now.
It was Tyler Adams. It was Tyler Adams and Haji Wright that really changed the game. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
So back to Gio Reyna. He, after sitting out for 3 months, he came back in last weekend and played 12 minutes against Freiburg. Midweek in the Champions League, he came on for 28 minutes against Dinamo Zagreb, which was a 3-0 win for the Black and Yellow. And then Dortmund had a 1-0 lead, gave it up late to Jamal Musiala on a header, make it 1-1. He came on at the very end, 88th, 89th minute, getting a couple minutes there. So it is nice to see that he's going to be trusted at some point to try to do something. But when I look at that team, and Tony, I'm going to come to you. I don't know where he breaks in over anybody. I mean, Julian Brandt has been playing great. That's who he came in for. You got Gittins, who scored against Bayern this weekend. Daniel Malin's been looking good. Guirassi's up top. They got Max Bayer up top as well. And they have some younger players that are coming through who are also very good. And yeah, he's going to have to earn it no matter where he goes. But it's just, man, I don't know how he breaks into this team other than he's got to show it every day in practice. And then when he gets his minutes, he's got to maximize those. There's no getting around that, right? The only two things you can control is your attitude and your performance. So that's pretty much where he's at this moment. It's nice that he's being trusted, so he must be training pretty well. But I want to see him get a start and actually take over a game. That's what I think is going to help him get minutes with the national team. But I agree with you. I don't know which position is going to be best for him. If we play a box in midfield, which is what it's been looking like at times with 2 10s and 2 6s, I know that there's a lot of room for interpretation with those 6s being an 8 and one of the 10s being an 8, and it can morph and adapt, which is great. I love that we have that fluidity in our formation. But I don't know if I'd put him out wide right, Chuck. I don't know if I'd put him out there.
There is no wide right in that position. Like, yeah, they come out to the touchline, but they also come inside. You can see how fluid this team is. They're constantly evolving and changing and moving, which is what we all hoped with Pochettino. I mean, Anthony Robinson was playing defensive midfielder and making underlapping runs, right? Overlapping runs, but also underlapping runs, which we hadn't seen him do before. So I like the fact that he's changing his tactics around to benefit the team and playing them in uncomfortable positions to see how much they can grow. What do you think is going to happen when Serginho Dest comes in to play? You think he's going to be playing as a right center back?
No.
Or do you think he's going to be where Yunus Musa was, right?
Yeah.
Then you throw that into the equation. Okay, well, maybe the third midfielder is Yunus Musa or, Gio Reyna in that case. So I think it's going to depend on who's fit and who's in form when it comes to these games in March.
Right.
It's where does he fit? Gittins, he may be out of there right at the end of the year. With the way he's going, they got Max Bayer on the other side of the field, right? I think he's around Gio's age. He's young as well, who's coming into the picture as a German player. It's really difficult. And we've said all along, we've said now for 2 years, like Gio's next move is really important, right? And of course, injuries have gotten in the way, but I think the move last year clearly didn't work out, right? It was it didn't ever really seem to make sense to me, that move. But you thought the way that they played, maybe they were going to go with the true 10 and put him there, and it just didn't work out. His next move, wherever it is, has to get him to a point. And of course, this is all injuries aside. That part has to get sorted out. And hopefully, he's past it now. But wherever he goes next, just like Pepe and some other guys, they've got to play. because we're getting into World Cup year, and Pochettino made it clear. For now, it's okay. He basically said, I'm paraphrasing, but a year out from the World Cup, like, he needs players playing and being in top form. That's why it makes me think, like, Matt Turner said some really good moments with the national team coming back. I always just think, like, how much better could you be if you're playing every week? Like, it's always in the back of my head. I just don't know that you could be completely, if you're Gio or Pepe, as good as Pepe's been, how much better can he be if he's playing 90 minutes? We've seen what it's done for Christian Pulisic to play 90 minutes. So that next move, and again, I feel like a broken record because I know I've said it on air, 100 times.
Yeah, but you're right.
Gio's next move is really, really important.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what it is. That guy's an enigma. Clearly talented, has more talent in his pinky than I have in my whole body, and I just want to see what he does with it. And can he get out of his own way? There's an art of getting out of your own way, and I don't know if he's managed that yet.
Yeah, I think he needs a step back or 2 steps forward.
Yeah, I agree.
And I've said that before too. And if that means going to the Dutch Eredivisie, playing
Chuck,
for,
he can go to Italy, man. He can go to Italy and play in so many. And I don't know that would be a step back for him because he's not playing like. It's
a step back in terms of club, right?
Club, for
Dortmund,
no doubt. No, most of them, not all
finalists, right?
Yeah.